Hi, I'm Elijah, and welcome back to another Kenco webcast, your number one source for information on labeling and pricing products. Today, I'll be showing you how to properly load and maintain your XL Pro 22 DC series handheld label gun. If you find this video to be helpful, please click the like button below. The XL Pro 22 DC label gun is a sturdy and reliable two-line pricer. With 8 digits on its top line and 7 on the bottom line, this gun is great for dating and pricing. Easy to load and repairable, you will get many years of use from this price gun. Before we begin, let's familiarize ourselves with several key components of this pricer. Let's pick up the gun with our left hand and take a look at the top. Right away, you'll notice the print head and the adjustment dials. Flip the gun over to take a look at the bottom cover. Up above, we are going to see the pressure roller. This will help apply the label to your product. Below the pressure roller, you will see the stroke adjustment plate, and below that, you will find the silver label guide. This is the advancing mechanism. The advancing mechanism advances every time you squeeze the trigger. Notice the sprockets on the wheel? The sprockets line up with the holes on the labels so that the advancing mechanism can feed one label every time you squeeze the trigger. On both sides of the gun are the lower assembly latches. Pull the latches toward the trigger to unlock the bottom cover, then pull it out. Below the pressure roller, you will see the ink roller assembly, and under that is the pressure plate. The pressure plate will help maintain consistent tension when the label gun is in use, giving it a smooth operation. On the inside of the lower assembly door, you will see a plastic cover. Squeeze the tabs on each side of the cover and lift it up, exposing the advancing mechanism. This is an important step when clearing a jam. Last, we will see a set of teeth. When the gun is properly loaded, the teeth are positioned to rip excess label liner so you can keep your gun clear. You can open the label housing cover by squeezing the grips on each side together. With both doors open, we can see the loading path through the gun. Here, you will see the label housing assembly. This is where the labels will rest when the gun is properly loaded. Rotate the gun to the front. Here, you will see the ink roller assembly door. I'll be talking more about the ink roller assembly later on. Now that we are more familiar with the various components, let's learn how to quickly and properly load the XL Pro 22 DC series labeler. Let's start by opening up the label housing cover. Next, flip the gun over and open the bottom cover by pulling the lower assembly latches toward the trigger and pulling the door out. We're going to thread the labels through the loading path. Grab a roll of labels and place it into the label housing assembly in a clockwise direction, making sure that the label strip comes through the gun. Pull about 4 to 5 inches through, then close the label housing cover to secure the labels. These blank labels in assorted colors can be custom printed with your information and are available through Kenco at kencostore.com or by calling 1-800-86-KENCO. You'll want to be careful not to feed the labels around the pressure roller, as this would cause the labels to jam. With the labels coming out through the front, close the bottom cover tightly until it locks into place. Feed the labels into the advancing mechanism right under the silver guide while continuously squeezing a trigger until we meet resistance and the liner comes tightly around the front of the gun. Now that the gun is properly loaded, we will learn how to adjust the price. I'm going to show you how to adjust the dials on the print head. With the top part of the gun facing you, we'll use our left hand to hold the gun and our right hand to grab the top adjustment dial. Let's change the bands to our desired price by turning the adjustment dials. To move to the next set of digits, simply pull the adjustment dial and the adjustment indicator will follow you to the digit you are currently adjusting. When you have finished adjusting the top dial, let's make sure to push it back in and we'll move to the bottom adjustment dial. To dial in the blank space, simply rotate the dial knob to the white blank space. When you have finished adjusting the bottom dial, be sure to push both adjustment dials back into the print head and you're all set. Next, we'll learn how to adjust the stroke if needed. For this part of the tutorial, we're going to need a Phillips screwdriver size PH1. Sometimes, you will take your gun out of the box and find that it is continuously jamming and will not apply properly. This may be because your stroke is set incorrectly. Before we begin, let's open the lower assembly door and pull the labels out, allowing us to see the stroke adjustment plate. Next, we'll need to loosen up the stroke adjustment screw located in the middle of the stroke adjustment plate. Now we can move the stroke adjustment plate up or down to set the stroke to the correct setting, and then we'll tighten the stroke adjustment screw. Once the stroke has been adjusted, we'll close the gun back up and then we can test it to make sure it's lined up properly. Now that we know how to properly load and adjust the XL Pro 22 DC label gun, let's learn how to change the ink roller. On the front of the gun, we will see the ink roller assembly door. Let's open it up by squeezing the ink roller assembly tabs on the sides and pulling back on the locking tab on the top. The easiest way to remove the old ink roller is by using extra label liner to pull the ink roller off the ink roller assembly. Once the ink roller is removed, you will get a replacement ink roller from its packaging and snap it onto the ink roller rod on both sides. Additional ink rollers can be purchased from kencostore.com. Now that we've put the new ink roller in, we need to close the ink roller assembly door, and we're ready to begin labeling. To label an item, simply pick up the gun, squeeze and release the trigger once, hold the price gun directly over the product, then just roll the label on your product, and you're all done. This has been another Kenco webcast. For more information and outstanding prices on these products, visit us on the web today at www.kencostore.com or call us toll-free at 1-800-86-KENCO. For more product videos and tutorials like this, go to www.kenco.tv.